It's so hot in here. Are you hot?
Yes.
I'm sweating my balls off here.
So yes, I am.
Okay, here we go.
We interrupt your usual programming for a podcast in the art of bullshittery.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time it is with you. Welcome to the Blaggin It podcast, the lifestyle podcast, where other shows would tell you how to get ahead in life. We're just trying to help you survive it. My name's Tom Baker. I'm an actor, author, and I'm currently fun-employed. Putting the fun in unemployment. I'm here with my my hip hop friend. I've got nothing this week. Chaynes.
What's going on, man?
Not much.
No?
How are you?
Yeah, no, that's not too bad, man. It's all good. How have you experienced your week?
That's my line.
Mate, I'm switching it up.
How have I experienced my week? I'm very tired. I've
Again? We discussed this last week, bro. You still...
What did I say?
You said
it's worse now.
You said that you were feeling very tired and it had been a long time since you felt that way.
It's worse now. I worry I'm burnt out.
Okay. To be fair, you do seem to do an awful lot, mate.
Do you know? Yeah.
Despite being fun-employed, as you say, like, you do have a job that you go to. How many days a week? Is it
Only,
2, 3?
Quick maths, 4.
4. Okay, so 4 days a week you're doing that, and then those shifts are like,
it's
6, 7 hours?
Chris, I do nothing. I will gladly say I do nothing. I just drink
there.
coffee. I drink coffee and eat extra strong mints.
I mean, well...
A customer came in the other day and I was like, no, I think my manager said, "Oh, Tom, can you serve those customers?" I went, if I have to, as a joke. And the customers just looked at me with daggers, but I don't think they get my sense of humour. But anyway, you go on.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying. So I'm burnt out.
So you do, 4 days a week doing that. Your shifts are about 6, 7 hours, are they?
Yeah, sure, on average. No, I'd say 4. But the thing is, But
then it's also the travel time as well. Like, because for me, I don't. My work day starts the moment I go out the door, and then it doesn't end until I come back through the door.
Yeah.
So like the journey time has to be considered too, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and I used to have a journey time of like 45 minutes when I was working at Reading, and I didn't think it would be that big a deal. But actually, when you think about how much you can do,
it's an extra hour and a half to your day, man.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I realised that I became... so when I lived further out, and I used to travel all the way up this way for work, and it took me about 40 minutes, and I realised how impatient I became with, like, traffic and things.
Yeah, because you ride a motorbike, don't you? You're one of them.
So, yeah, I did have some reckless moments of just, I'm impatient now.
Yeah.
Like, so,
and
out in the middle.
Yeah, when everyone thinks like that, that's when accidents start. Look at me. That's when accidents start to happen.
It's true. It's facts, man.
Yes.
So, yeah, so you're doing that. As well as that, obviously, we have this recording, which is, fairly straightforward. We just sit here and talk for the most part. Yeah. But then it's everything after that. It's, because it's you that edits it and gets it ready to be uploaded, and then it's you that does the upload, and then you upload to the YouTube channel, and then it's me that changes the title and the description of the video. But that's about as far as my contribution to the upload goes.
Yeah, Chris, I wanted to talk about this.
By all means, mate.
You've bought the audio splitter, so now Chris can hear himself while we're recording.
Finally, yes.
Yes. It only took 8 weeks.
And as well as doing that, you're also independently teaching people.
Chris, stop. No, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think the problem with productivity, the idea, productivity wasn't really a culture until about 2016, 2017, and it suddenly exploded on YouTube. I'm talking about into this whole into the whole mindfulness thing and being more productive. It's kind of like almost like everyone wants to be an entrepreneur now. I think people are becoming more aware of breaking the 9 to 5 and stuff like that. Yeah. But the trap is that when you are trying to break the 9 to 5 and be more of a hustler and stuff like that, there's this daunting feeling that every moment of the day needs to be doing something productive.
Yes.
Like recently, one of the, Ali Abdul, the guy who I watch a lot on YouTube, he posted a video saying how to watch television more productively, and he's talking about how he uses keyboard shortcuts to speed at times 2 speed through the whole thing till something interesting happens. Then he puts it normal.
What?
Yeah. And he was saying now you can watch like 10 episodes in half the time or something like that. And it's
That's insanity.
It's like his most disliked video he's ever done. And everyone in the comments is just going, why are you trying to take something that is for pleasure and make it more productive and more like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's insanity.
And I feel, so I think the reason why I'm feeling a bit burnt out is that I went through a kind of spike of thinking that I needed to be productive all the time and I needed to have this morning routine that was setting me up, and that's actually quite exhausting, and it actually takes the fun out of because productivity isn't about doing more, it's about being more efficient with what you're doing and it being fun and enjoyable. So I think I'm just kind of working. I don't mind saying that I'm cutting down on my alcohol as well. Mm-hmm. There was someone when I was employed in Tesco, someone said at the end of lockdown, people are either going to come out as a hunk because everyone started getting into fitness on the Instagram videos, chunk from eating too much, or a drunk. And I like to think I'm a chunk drunk rather than a hunk. But over lockdown, it was very heavy alcohol consumption, and it's weird because I've felt worse waking up having not had a drink the night before than I did. Yeah. And that goes to show that like the drug in alcohol was so powerful and had such a hold but weirdly I had more energy than I do now. Yeah. But I think my body's just going through some kind. It's like going, what the hell are you doing? We need this thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's adapting, man.
It's probably what like smokers go through and stuff as well.
Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah, because they're always like, smoking helps me to de-stress or whatever. And I've always like...
Yeah, my boss at work...
It's like, well, it does, I suppose, but it's not the cigarette that's doing that. It's the breathing exercise that it requires. Yeah. Because you're literally just... If I done that for 5 minutes at a time, that's going to de-stress me. Yeah. It's not that the fag's done nothing but kill me.
Yeah.
Like
the lady at work, my boss, who when she's stressed, she's like, right, I need to go have a fag. She'll have like 3 cigarettes in a row, and I'm like, great. How have you solved the problem?
Yeah.
I haven't. I just needed to de-stress. Right. So how are we going to solve the problem? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think at work it's quite difficult now because one of the employees is a total fucknut.
Right, okay.
And just should move on.
Should just move on.
Should just step out. Because it's causing a massive amount of stress. So I think there's just, I don't know. But then we talked about everything's just a perspective. So I don't know what's changed, but I think I'm just going through a little bit of growing pains right now in terms of developing. And then I had my filming on Monday.
Yes.
Which you haven't asked about.
Well, I've just asked you how you experienced your week. Oh yeah, bro.
Am I still talking?
I said this is now your job. Like,
yes.
So yes, you were filming Monday.
Yeah. And it wasn't. It was obviously the reshoots for the film I did last year.
Okay.
And it wasn't as fun as when I did that Netflix thing. Mm-hmm. Because that one was more involved and more character based, whereas the one I did on Monday is a bit more technical. Okay. And so imaginatively it wasn't as engaging. But what was fun was to see the same faces from last year and have them remember and recognise you, which is fun. That gives you a bit of like, gratification. Mm-hmm. And then the director spoke to me.
Oh, okay.
Woohoo! And so that was, because he's the director of some of my favourite films. So that was just like, oh, that's really cool. So I did that.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate.
Yeah. But they tried to swindle me. They sent me through the cheque for it the other day, and it said £217. I said, hang on, last year when I did it, and also you quoted me that the contortionists get 300 quid a day. And he was like, oh yeah, my mistake, I'll tell production. But if I hadn't have said the price is wrong, I would have lost out on 80 quid.
Yeah.
So I was a bit miffed about that.
Yeah.
Bit miffed. Chris, how have you experienced this week?
It's been all right, man. I've kind of... I don't know. I feel like I want to learn something.
Okay.
So
Japanese?
Well, I'm more thinking like instruments.
Okay. I tried to learn the piano over lockdown. But but most of the time when I sat in front of it, I was drunk, so not a lot of it stayed in my head.
So you just boom, boom, boom.
No, because there's this thing on YouTube. You can get like Guitar Hero, but for piano, so it just does tutorials.
Yeah,
just showing you how to press the keys. So I was like,
exactly,
playing songs from Frozen without knowing. I guess the bad thing about that is you don't really know what keys you're pressing.
Yeah,
if you're just learning that, you're learning piano.
Yeah.
And so I probably should put more. The thing is about the curse of productivity and self-development is that once you realise how many more useful things you can do with your time, once you start to slip back into the old you, you're kind of like, I could be doing so much right now.
Yeah.
Like,
you got to find a balance, bro. Because like, you do need your leisurely time.
Yeah.
As well. The way where you just do nothing.
I got through the whole of the Umbrella Academy. Have you seen the Umbrella Academy on Netflix?
I've heard of it.
It's got a great. The great best thing about it is Robert Sheehan and the soundtrack. But I got through all of that in 2 days. And yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I'd love to be in that.
Mate, law of attraction, manifestation.
Thank you.
Put it on the vision board, bro.
They at the end of spoilers, at the end of season 2, they kind of go into a parallel universe and they meet kind of like...
How long has season 2 been out?
About a week. No one's watching it. Anyway, and I imagine that they do it like, it's like the British versions of themselves. That's what I'm putting out to you. Because it's so weird because, here we go, have you ever thought something and then I had an idea and then it's appeared in like a film or something?
I feel like there's been a time where, yes, I have. I can't come up with one off the top of my head
Here's my
now.
one. You tell me if this is weird. So when I was writing my first book, The Queen Seeker, I had this faction, this group. You know how in Skyrim you've got like different groups, like the vampires and the blades and stuff like that. And I came up with this group called the First Order. And the idea of it was that it was this, the kind of, their motto was the last secret of the First Order.
Okay.
That was like their like solemn oath. So I started putting all this work into the First Order and I started building their history. This was in about 2011, I think.
I feel like I know where we're going with this.
And it was before Star Wars Episode 7 got announced. I don't know when it was announced. I think it was 2014. I can't really remember, or 2015. Probably later. I don't remember. But the minute I saw them call it the First Order instead of the Empire, I was like, you're kidding.
Yeah.
How? Because I'd come up with that before it had even been announced or revealed, and I wouldn't make that up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when I published it, people in the reviews or in the comments were going, "Oh, this guy likes Star Wars a bit too much. He's copied the name of the faction from it." And I was like, "How fucking I came up with it." So that's what I mean by like I've sometimes said, or like a Doctor Who. When I first started writing. I'll give you a chance to talk in a second.
Hey, do your thing, bro.
I think I was about 11 and I came up with a story for, Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie.
Yes.
You might not know it, but you've heard of it. I was like, okay, what if the Orient Express was in space and you did Murder on the Orient Express in space and it was like with different aliens, people, Winston Churchill's there, etc. And then maybe 2017, I think it is, Doctor Who does an episode called Mummy on the Orient Express, which has the same concept. And I was like, I thought of that in 2011.
Yeah.
Do you not think that's weird?
It is, yes.
What do you do with that?
I mean, it doesn't really matter what you do, bro, because, people will just be like, oh, no, you just copied them and just trying to take the credit.
And those are honest to God facts. Like,
yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know. So I feel like if I say I want to be in the Umbrella Academy season 3, then it'll happen.
So what you should, so now you've come up with the idea, you should now start writing a book about it.
Yeah.
So then
I'll just plot the whole series. Yeah. And then sue for copyright use.
And then sue for copyright use.
Bam. Or that's what I'll do. I'll be like, either you put me in it or I'm suing you.
I wouldn't.
It's a flawless plan, Chris. It's a flawless plan. Yes. What are you talking about?
A very successful Netflix series.
So you want to learn something. What do you want to learn?
I've considered picking up a piano or something, just like you have behind you there.
If that goes missing now, I'll know who took it.
I do actually have a guitar sat at home that I bought for myself for my 22nd birthday.
Do you remember my electric guitar?
Yes.
I had like a mad, it was black, kind of, it was very gothic, sort of insane Guitar Hero.
Yes, I do remember that.
Never picked it up.
No?
I never even tuned it, because I didn't know how.
Yeah, I also had the idea of, I don't know, man. I don't want to get all like Debbie Downer or anything, bro.
Okay.
But I just want to like...
She sounds hot.
No, she's a bit of a downer.
Debbie Downer with the double D's. Sounds like a, you know in Marvel how they do like Peter Parker?
Yeah.
Sounds like a superhero, Debbie Downer. Anyway, carry on.
I mean, she might be on Netflix in a couple of months.
Yeah, that's going to be in fucking the next Marvel Avengers now.
Yeah, that's it. They're robbing us right now.
Chickens escaped again.
I can't even see them.
She's
I
by the
can.
hedge.
Oh yeah, I can see her.
Look at her.
She does not care.
She knows they don't, and it annoys me.
She does not care, bro.
I do not care. You're a Debbie Downer.
I don't want to be Debbie Downer, man, but I just want to I just have the urge to just
Sounds like something a Debbie Downer would say.
pack a large rucksack and
Okay.
just get on the bike and just go anywhere and just disappear.
Is this you asking me out on a date? No,
Yeah,
I know what you mean. In my gratitude journal, I've been writing recently that I really want to travel. Because, and the podcast I was listening to was talking about the value of travelling, because I used to not think, where's she gone? She's just disappeared through the hedge. Right, I'm going to have to put this on pause. For fuck's sake.
No. This, mate, they just want to be a part of it, bro.
Right, yes, Chris, you want to pack your bags up and fuck off.
Yeah,
Well, why don't you then?
I mean, cheers, mate.
Get out.
It's, it's just something that I just have a sudden urge to just be like, man, let's just go and experience something. I feel like it'll really sort of broaden the mind and actually give a lot more perspective on things.
Yeah.
And I think it's the closest thing that we have to like a refresh button in life.
A reset, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, as I was saying, the podcast I was watching was talking about how when you're travelling, your brain is just so much more active. It's because everything's changed. It's new rules, it's new stimulus.
Yeah.
So you're bound to discover new things.
Yeah.
And so I've really been... It's weird that we've both had the similar thought at the same sort of time.
You know what that means?
What?
Blaggin It podcast tour.
Oh, it's just... He's not... Listeners, I'm stressed because
it's boring.
I live in a menagerie. I live in a zoo. I've just had to rescue my chicken from escaping. My cat is now... what is he doing?
He's probably picking up the carpet, mate. Because he's livid.
Toby, outside.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after these messages.
Everything is out to piss me off. Said the negative Nancy.
Hey.
Negative Nancy and Debbie Downer. There we go. And
We just got the new duo.
And they're both lesbian detectives.
Okay, write that down.
And they are in a partnership that is against the protocols of the police. The police don't know.
Right.
And in the end, one of them is the villain.
Okay.
Or becomes the villain because the police won't investigate. She discovers the person who murdered her parents,
right?
And the police won't let her take the case because otherwise she's too close to it, and then she becomes the bad guy. There you go.
Okay, we've just come up with a whole series.
Yep, I can quit the podcast, and that's how I'll make my money. Debbie Downer and Negative Nancy, the audiobook. Look out for it on Spotify. Travelling, yes, Chris.
Yeah.
Where would you travel? Here we go.
Oh, mate, I have no idea. That's the thing. There's something that one of my favourite things about being on a motorbike was just that, I'm kind of gutted that most of the summer has been spent having to stay inside and just go absolutely nowhere because I used to love getting on the bike and just getting lost somewhere.
Well, you can still...
Just like, oh, I've never been down here before. Oh, cool, let's see what's there. But even if there is something there, can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you'd find like a nice little spot to grab some food or whatever, but it's not like I'd be able to do that.
Yeah.
I
was thinking today, I was like, what is stopping anyone from like freezing their bank accounts, because the argument is money, but freeze your bank accounts, cancel all direct debits, so all this stacks up or whatever. This is how reckless I am. And just going.
Yeah.
Just trying to, like, I don't know, hitch a ride or steal a boat. So I really think that other people weren't considering travelling, save for ages, and then plan it all out. I'm just like, steal a boat.
it's
do a Jack Sparrow.
So like I've thought about it, a lot because I listened to a guy called John Butler, and he seems like a very wise gentleman. And he was talking about his life, and it seems like he spent a fair few years on like a massive journey of self-discovery.
Yeah.
Like he suddenly, I don't want to say he had a breakdown or anything, but like he was on a farm or something. He had a marriage and stuff, and then one day he just left it.
Oh shit! He left the wife, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he told her, but he walked away from his marriage and all that, and like just got in this. He got like like an RV and just pissed off.
I love the vibe of an RV.
I mean, yeah, I think it's sick.
Do you know what I mean? Like having a little mini gas hob, making bacon sandwiches. But I don't think that's why he escaped.
No, he didn't just like the vibes of RVs. But yeah, he went off and he spent a couple of years teaching Russian children for a couple of years, obviously in Russia.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Plot twist.
Yeah. He spent a little while. He followed some guy to San Diego or something. He was with him for a couple of weeks.
I was going to say, did the person know?
Yes.
Or was he stalking?
Yeah. Yeah, the person knew.
D95.
He went with them, and then he was there for a couple of weeks, and then he said something like the guy spoke to him and pointed out his like arrogance and things, and it like destroyed him. So he then got in a car and just drove off into the desert. It seemed like he was running away from his problems a lot.
Yeah, maybe.
But
now that we've dissected it, I don't want to travel anymore.
But like he just went off, and then he started working just outside in the Mojave Desert or something. Mm-hmm. He got a job at a gas station in the kitchen.
There's always a gas station in the desert,
yeah,
isn't there?
just that one place.
Yeah.
Just the only one out there.
You from round here? No, I'm in the fucking desert.
So, what do you're not from round here, mate, and you work here. But yeah, so he done that for a little while just to get the money to then hire another car and just keep going.
Yeah, that kind of lifestyle, yeah.
Which I just thought, I mean, I don't think I want to do it that recklessly, but it must be just amazing to just be like, I'm just doing this, I'm just vibing, I'm only working solely to get this money to keep me going for the next couple of weeks.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's it.
And imagine how little worries you'd have. Like, you wouldn't have to worry about being able to pay the phone bill.
Yeah, where's this month's rent coming from? Doesn't matter. This car is my home.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
I definitely think there's something to it, and I think that it's because we place a lot of pressure on ourselves in terms of what am I saying? Who am I? What's going on?
There's like this generic idea of what life is supposed to be.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, thank you. And it's like making it and having it figured out. That's what I want to say. There's this pressure of needing to have it figured out. Like, oh, what are you doing after university?
Yeah.
Oh, what are you doing at the moment? Oh, how are you making? What are you working as? What's your job? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it must be immensely freeing to just run away from that pressure and
just leave it all.
Yeah, there's the vibe of like the mountain. I love mountains.
Yes.
And I love, whereas we don't have that in bloody,
Oxfordshire.
The Hobbiton, Oxfordshire.
Yeah. We have a few hills, but that's about it. It's not quite the same vibe.
Whereas like different cultures, like sort of, I think Eastern culture is very interesting. Obviously, I wouldn't be that interested in. I think if I went west, kind of South America would probably not near like the Mexico bit, but like is it Argentina, or is that just as bad? There was this thing they did on Top Gear that looked really pretty. I just want to be surrounded by like. I don't think I'd go to cities. I'd want to be in nature. Yeah, without a doubt, because me and cities don't get on.
Yeah, no, I tried living in a pretty much a city for a good year or so, and it was
city?
Reading. Yeah, and it was like, I mean, it was nice to have the convenience of everything, but yeah, I mean, it was a piece of piss to find work.
Yeah,
but yeah, man, I was never too worried about things like that, but yeah, no, it's not my vibe. I'm born and raised country boy, as my mum said.
Yeah, no, me too, definitely. So what is holding you back from doing that then? If you have this lust, this pull, why not follow it?
I don't have a driver's license yet.
Okay, end of conversation.
So, if it would help that I mean, of course I could just get on the bike, but, it's a lot more practical if I can get in a car.
You need that mini gas stove.
I mean, yeah.
You need bacon sandwiches wherever you are.
Exactly, mate. I don't have to stop at a diner or anything. Like
Diner, even diners, like the vibe of diners, like
Exactly.
people coming and going, and like the fleetingness, the what is it called? There's this Japanese belief. I think it's called mono no aware. And, have you heard of it?
No, but keep going.
Mono no aware is the sensitivity to ephemera, so it's like the fleetingness of things and how everything fades so quickly and stuff like that. So it's a Japanese belief that is just it describes itself as a transient, gentle sadness or wistfulness at the passing of things. There's like a gentle sadness for the reality of life.
Yeah,
and it's those I that vibe is like really, it's very human.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas the modern world, like the 9 to 5, financial pressures, even romantic pressures.
Yeah.
Like the need to... I found myself re-downloading Tinder yesterday.
Right.
I spent about 2 seconds on it. I was like, this is utter trash. And I downloaded it again, but there's that like distraction of trying to identify the self and trying to find the self. Do you know what I mean? And I think that going traveling would be a really good is the like the pinnacle of self discovery and exploration.
Yeah, I think so. That's kind of what I'm hoping that I would get out of it.
Yeah,
I think because sometimes, you know, in a clear sky or whatever, I'll just, you know, look up into space for a bit and like, you know, see a couple planes fly over and I'm like, yeah, that's full of people right now. Where on earth is that going?
Yeah.
And then I start thinking about the size of the universe and stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm in such a... I'm like literally trapped in this bubble here. I've never been abroad, so I have no idea what's out there.
Yeah, you've never been abroad, have you?
I've literally just been...
I can't believe you've never been abroad.
Like,
Why have you never been abroad?
I mean, well, we just weren't that kind of family, I guess. I mean, my mum isn't... She's a terrible passenger in a car, let alone on a plane.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, she wouldn't get on a plane. And I didn't even
Steal
have a
a
passport. I mean, I think she'd get seasick.
Oh, of course, any excuse.
So yeah, I just think that I'm in this like bubble, and I think that it makes me, I think it makes me look at problems to be so much more significant than what they're.
Yeah,
and it's like they're not.
Yeah.
Like
this is what
it's such a small piece of this massive scale of a universe, mate. Your problems are nothing.
Yeah, that's
like for Christ's sake, just enjoy your life.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm just in this little routine bubble, so I'd very much like to just
Well, now's the time to do it. Like your 20s are like the time when you've got no. I think we spoke about this on a previous episode, but you've got nothing holding you back, no commitments or anything like that. So
exactly.
Now's the time to.
Whilst people are like, well, I've got to buy this house and all that. It's like, I mean, yeah, fair enough, mate, but...
Yeah, but then you're committed to that for so long, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it now for another 30, 40 years. That's if you don't move.
Yeah.
You know, because you'll go to somewhere more expensive and that's just going to add a few more years to your repayments and yeah.
But some people are happy with with that, do you know what I mean? Some people are happy with the 9 to 5. But I think we're kind of, in inverted commas, cursed with wanting, again, this... let me just check. No, I think wanderlust. The word wanderlust is getting lost in the forest. I think there's all these amazing words. Beep boop bap bap bap. Tom, cut this. Strong. Oh no, wanderlust is strong desire to wander or travel and explore the world.
Oh,
so we have this wanderlust. I think it comes from a German word for getting lost in the woods. I think, but we have this kind of higher. Need of fulfillment.
Yes.
And sometimes it's quite frustrating because you feel like you're operating on a level that is not higher as in hierarchical terms.
I'm better than you.
No, never in like that, but like working on a level that is looking for a deeper sense of satisfaction in terms of self-discovery and exploration, etc.
Yeah, the idea of the norm for me sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Like I really don't. I don't like the sound of that.
No,
I'm cool.
Yeah, like when I started working at Sainsbury's, I can remember there were these other 2 people. And this was about 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. They're still working there.
Yeah,
they're still in the same job, I can't believe that. If that was ever me, and no disrespect, because maybe they're happy, but I know one of the guys looks miserable, and I'm like, oh God, I hate for that to be me.
I mean, the thing is, like, it was actually only yesterday I was talking about this. You know, the world does need people that are happy with that sort of thing, because otherwise we'd never have anyone in Tesco.
Yeah.
Like, there'd be no one there
supermarket chains
to do anything.
Available.
Well, yeah, of course. But, you know, no one would be in there, because we're all, you know, doing these, you know...
skydiving.
Yeah, so nobody would be doing anything.
But then but then is that what society is now? Is that what the human race is for? Is just commerce and capitalism and consumption and something else beginning with C?
I mean, it certainly seems like it, bro. I don't want to be all pessimistic.
Shit.
But I mean, it's just how it is. Like, you know, people just they want that money. It's all go.
Yeah.
We seem to think that it's gonna solve everything, but you know, more money, more problems. Your problems are still there. They're just a lot more expensive. Like, I saw a video, you know, T-Pain, the artist, the R&B singer / rapper.
Oh yeah, him. I don't know who that is.
Okay, right. So he was he done an episode of Hot Ones recently, and he was talking about how he recently bought a Mini Cooper.
Hot Ones, is that where they just eat
chicken wings?
Chicken.
Yes, genius. Absolutely, one of the best shows I've seen. Is amazing.
Mind-numbing.
What's
amazing. The point in trying to create art when there are people just eating chicken?
It's amazing, bro. It's so
Maybe
good.
we need to be doing something to liven this up. Do we need? I don't know.
I mean, we can try and do an episode of Hot Ones.
No, you're not very good with spice, are you?
That's why we try it.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll do that then. Pencil that in the diary.
Yeah.
You're watching T-Pain.
Yeah. So, and he was talking about how he recently bought a Mini Cooper, and I mean, he's, you know, absolutely minted. Like, he doesn't need a Mini Cooper, but he was talking about how he used to have a Bugatti and why he prefers driving his Mini now.
Yeah.
He was like, you know, if I can go down the highway at like 120 miles an hour, so I'm going super fast. I can do that for like an hour. My car's cool. He's like, when I would drive my Bugatti and I gave it some for like 30 seconds, I'd bust a radiator. You know, you bust one of these radiators. There's 4 of them in this car. Each one cost 25 grand. And the way the system worked was you replaced one, you had to replace all. So that 30 grand, that 30 second blast cost me 100 grand.
Why? But Bugatti is supposed to be like the fastest car, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's its only purpose.
Why?
It's not reliable. It's solely built to that was its purpose. It's got no practicality. No supercar has practicality.
Why?
It's just me go fast. Like, that's it. Like,
why is
me
he breaking...
flashy. People are stupid.
Why is he breaking the speed limit?
Because he's T-Pain.
I hate people who break the speed limit. When I was driving to...
Yeah, but you know, he might have been driving it on that German motorway that has no speed limit.
What? There's a German motorway?
Yeah, there's a motorway in Germany that has no speed limit.
How many
and
accidents
the police cars
there?
are meant to be like Lambos and stuff. That's what I've heard.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
What is life?
I mean, sounds like a hell of an experience, bro. I wonder what you've got to do though to make those police cars straight after you, because like what speed limit is considered like? All right, now you're just taking the piss.
I get scared driving at like 88 miles an hour, let alone like I think I've been 100 miles an hour once. This is where the police knock on my door. But even 100 miles, my car, mind you, I've got a Corsa, so it's just like rattling like a tin can. But yeah,
that's the thing, man. Like, it's such a ridiculous expense, and
yeah.
like, they think, oh look, I can now afford this. It's like, yeah, okay, you might be able to buy that, but then maintaining it is a ridiculous cost.
Yeah,
as well.
Have you seen the there's this thing that I know Steve Jobs did it and someone else where their wardrobe is just the same thing, like the same like 10 grey tops and
yes.
then the same pair of jeans. And the idea is to remove decision something or other, like the stress of decisions or something like that. Mm-hmm. And Steve Jobs was obviously Steve Jobs, like a forefather of technology. Yeah. And so I was thinking about this on my walk today. I was like, all the people who invest in like Gucci and stuff like that,
morons.
Versace.
Yeah, Versace. Yeah.
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton.
Yeah. I
YSL.
I don't understand it. I'm like. It is just a popularity sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just when you've got more money than sense.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like your money has exceeded your level of common sense.
This is coming from a deep place of hatred.
It is, honestly. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't care. Like, don't get me wrong. I appreciate nice things, and like it might seem a bit hypocritical of me to say that I've been shopping recently for a new pair of Air Max 90s that will cost me like 120 quid for trainers. But damn, they are the most comfortable trainers I've ever worn in my life.
Well, maybe the Versace girl has got the most comfortable high heel. I don't know what Versace
I don't think a single pair of high heels on this earth is comfortable.
I beg to differ.
And I'd be willing to try multiple sets to prove my point.
Okay, write that down. So we're doing hot wings, we're doing push on high heels. We should just do challenges. We're just going to do challenges at some point. But we run out of content.
It's just ridiculous. It's like, oh, I need to buy this top that's going to cost me $200 or whatever. It's like, you moron.
Yeah, I guess if you she's escaped again.
Mate, she's chilling. She don't give a damn about what you say.
Mum tells me off. Come out. I just want to run away from home. If you have your £200 Versace top, if it gets ripped or stained or something like that, that's now 200 quid to replace.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're doing the Steve Jobs and you're just getting 11 quid tee from Primark,
yeah,
you can replace that fairly. And it's all about value as well. Like, what value do you put into your purse, your phone, etc.? For some reason, I've got this thing where I always have to have the best phone.
Right.
But I don't know. So that's probably a bit of because this is probably...
See, I was actually doing the same... my bad for cutting you off, bro, but I kind of done the same thing with this. So this is only a Galaxy A71.
Yeah.
So this is nowhere near... Like,
My agent never got back to me, by the way, about whether or not...
We're on freaking S20s.
Yeah.
You know, there's a Samsung phone that literally folds in on itself. Like, ridiculous idea, stupid, but either way.
Well, no, there's some.
Like, I don't need to get an S20.
Yeah.
It's like I just wanted something that's gonna. I mean, it wasn't hard to do better than my last phone.
Yes. But when they talk about the phone is faster than ever, it's like, how much speed do I need to send a text?
Yeah.
It's mad. And what was the other thing? No, that's something completely different. How is that related? My brain. Wow, what does that tell you?
So you've got
Freudian
this thing where you have to have the best phone.
Yes. That's the end of it. I was going to say, what do you think about Trump banning TikTok?
I mean, just real quick, whilst we're on this whole money situation as well,
maybe I shouldn't be trying to change the conversation.
Just don't be, just be a bit more mindful of what you're doing. Like, it's ridiculous when you see. Yeah, but does it really? Like, when you see these rappers flooded with rings and chains,
that's the culture, though, isn't it?
And all that. I mean, if you look at the best, like now generation, they look homeless.
Like you.
I mean,
that's a compliment and an insult.
I'll take it, bro. When a rapper looks homeless, you're getting a fire album
because you know that they are putting everything. They're a symbol or an icon. It's the fact that they are just doing it for their passion and
like as soon as J. Cole lost the chains and the ridiculous designer clothes, we got 2014 Forest Hills Drive, one of the greatest hip hop albums ever. Like, and he's still killing it now, and he's growing mad dreadlocks and all that, and it's just he rides a bicycle. Like, he sold his car.
Jeremy Clarkson wouldn't like him.
He just rides a bike everywhere. There's loads of videos on Insta of people driving past him being like, "Yo, Cole, we love you, man!" Like, you know, Kendrick Lamar looks homeless, one of the greatest rappers of our time. Like, and you get these guys, the people that are buying the chains and stuff are like Migos. I'm sorry if you like Migos, but they suck. They are god awful.
Do you remember those friendship bracelets you'd make with the little bits of plastic? And what were they called? Orbeez are what you put in the bath. What's the ones with the little
Scoobies?
Oh, do you remember when people would make businesses out of Scoobies? At school.
Yeah, they did. They could do like the spiral staircase design and all that. Like, and if you, I was a basic bitch. I was only doing the standard square.
I could never do. I'm not good with my hands. But there'd be like the basic one, which was like 4. But if you had someone who was doing like 6 or 7, that was when you got like the insane.
It was like, those guys are crazy. But yes, money wise, be smart with it, for goodness sake. But like, you know, don't be taking influence from these idiots. You know,
it's quite intimidating because sometimes it gives the illusion of success, whereas actually it's maybe the illusion of sense.
Yeah, it's like, well, how much money do they really have? Because they've spent thousands upon thousands on that singular chain, and it does nothing for them. When they go to sell that chain, at best, they're going to get what they paid for it. They haven't gained anything from it. For me, one of my all-time favourite verses is from a Meek Mill song called What's Free. And the verse is by Jay-Z, which of course you're aware of. And he literally just schools everybody about his smart financial decisions and how he has all
Sounds
of these...
like a really interesting record.
He has all of these businesses.
Sign up for a pension scheme. Put 300 away each month for savings.
I mean, am I going to have to get the bar sometime?
No, Chris.
Just to prove that that's not what Jay-Z is talking about.
Imagine.
But it's like...
Change your internet provider to get the best deal.
It's something like, I'm 50% of Douce and that's debt-free. And then he lists another business and how that's worth $500 million, and then says Rock Nation, half of that's my piece. 100% of Tidal, just to split it with all my G's.
It sounds like the beginning of The Apprentice, you know, when they go, the food industry is worth 33 billion.
He literally just...
I'd rather watch The Apprentice
goes
than
through
this track.
It's an amazing verse. Okay. He just goes through it all, man. It's such a good verse. Like,
is it a good verse?
It is. It's amazing.
You didn't tell me. Right, we're getting to the end of the tape, so we're gonna have a 2-minute, and I'm gonna get my chicken back from there.
Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's alright. I was seeing if it was Kit Kat time.
I've already had my Kit Kat. Oh. Have I betrayed you?
No.
I had it on my walk.
Oh.
Maybe I'll have another one. Yo, what's up, my G's? It's Blaggin It P. I'm here with Chaynes. Chris, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's good, bro?
No, I was going to do an impression of you, and then you do an impression
of
me.
You want me to do an impression of you?
Yeah,
okay.
Go on.
Hello, welcome back to Blaggin It Podcast.
I thought you were going to do something like, hello, I'm an actor. I'm Ginger.
Yeah, you specifically point that out with everyone you meet.
Do I?
No, that was that's why it was ridiculous.
Okay, should we try again? No. Do you remember when I dyed my hair brown?
Yes.
And then I didn't dye my eyebrows, so I just looked like I had no eyebrows. Eyebrows. Chris, I'm a monster. I've had another Kit Kat.
I mean, you know, it's got to be done sometimes, bro. Treat yourself.
Sometimes you have to. Chris, I use that attitude every day, and it's got me where I am. Which isn't a bad place. Mind you, they sell those Kit Kats that are the 4 bits, don't they?
Yes.
So I don't feel terrible anymore.
No.
I'm over it. Imagine if they made, they've got Kit Kat Chunkies, but that's only one Kit Kat. Imagine if they made a Kit Kat Chunky. Do you know what I mean?
There was like 2 Kit Kats, you mean?
That'd be insane. What am I miming right now, Chris? Chris, I thought we could talk about story. I know you don't like having structure.
Right. I didn't say that I don't like having structure.
Okay. I thought we could talk. One idea I had was talking about stories that changed our, like, life-changing stories that changed like our character or how we viewed or perceived the idea of ourselves.
Okay, times we've grown essentially.
Exactly.
Okay, I like the sound of that.
Great. Do you want to start the ball rolling?
Do I want to start the ball rolling? Okay. So I think I briefly touched upon this a couple episodes back, actually. So I'll go into it in a little bit more detail this time. I think one of my biggest growth spurts, if you will, was shortly after I released the 4 p.m. in Oxford video.
Yeah.
Mainly because that was probably one of the most uncomfortable things I've done. It was my sound guy's idea. Shout out to you again, Signe. He was like, yeah, I've got a great idea for this. What we'll do is we'll just film it in Westgate Shopping Centre. And I was like, right, so you mean I'm going to stand in a public place and, start playing this beat and essentially perform for these people? And he was like, yeah. It's like,
oh my God.
I don't like this idea. But I mean, I've got no ideas. Yeah. So let's go. And at first he was like, yeah, no, there's, go up the escalator or whatever, and there's like a nice little quiet spot or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool, I like that.
Sounds like you were going to kiss each other.
No, Tom. Well, now he's definitely going to send for you.
He's going to what?
Right, I've been meaning to tell you this.
Send for me?
Right, so.
Oh my God. I don't want, I'm not ready to
in rap culture, especially grime, when someone would write a diss track, they'd call it a send.
Shall I write a diss track? That'd be quite funny.
I mean, if you want to.
Great.
But essentially, after your comments about him working in B&M Bargains, he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna send for him." I mean, he's not being serious.
Oh, okay.
But he was like, "Make sure you tell him I'm gonna send for him." And I was like, "Yeah, all right, I'll tell him." And I just never did. But now, after saying we're going to go to kiss each other, he's probably going to say...
Chris, nothing wrong with a bit of kissy-kissy.
Sig, get in the booth, all right? It's happening.
Oh, my God.
No,
you're... The kissing booth or the...
Oh, the recording booth. Oh, I just made that worse.
I'm sorry, I don't know all the lingo in rap culture.
So I was thinking, right, no...
Shame.
I was thinking this.
See, that video would sell.
This was going to be like a nice secluded part, and it turns out no. He was like, "Yeah, I don't really like the background of what would be over there. I prefer that we go over there, which of course is on the bridge that leads to the toilet block."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, I don't like this idea." And he's like, "Yeah, but we're going on a weekday, so it's going to be quiet." His idea of quiet and my idea of quiet, two completely different things. There was obviously there's two lifts there. There were people coming in and out of there. There were guys walking behind him.
There's the escalators as well, isn't there?
Yeah, so you could see them coming up in the background of the video. You know, we had eventually we were removed by the security, if you will. Yeah, apparently we can't film there, and I was like, bullshit. But I mean,
so people can do Snapchats there, but there's some argument.
But I mean, thankfully we'd already got our takes anyway. Yeah. Like, well, we got what we came for, so fuck you, bro.
Oh dear.
You know.
And then he joined in, kiss.
It's like, well, I'm gonna make out with you, bro. Right. But once that video had come out, and
you had as well. Okay, I'm gonna let you tell this story.
Okay, and it was the first time that I actually saw myself as an artist, and it was also because it was so uncomfortable. Because like, whilst I'm not gonna lie, for the entire video, my eyes are shut. Like, because I don't want to know what's around me. I don't want to see the people. I don't want to see the weird looks I'm getting. Like, and like, you know, a couple of times people like laughed to their friends and all that stuff. Like, it was a bit uncomfortable.
I bet they were. No, I don't bet that actually. Male?
For the most part, yeah.
Under the age of 20.
I would assume so at the time. Yeah. Yeah. I know they tried to. I remember one of them tried to like sort of ruin the take, essentially. But I'd already fucked up anyway earlier on, right. So it was like, we don't really matter, mate. I was going to bin this one off. This was just being treated as rehearsal now. So cheers, mate. But you know, it's all good.
I just smacked him one. Carry on. So we are being laughed at.
I mean, to be fair, my part of this story is pretty much done with now. Yeah, it was just the first time that I actually viewed myself as an artist and was like, oh shit, like that's the guy, like that's the guy. Because like, even down to like the outfit, I still watch that video, I'm like, yo, that looks sick. Right, so it's just, man, it was a real change. And I also feel like it was a real big it was a real sort of pivotal moment, or like a nice what's the word I'm trying to think of? Basically it's like a nice pedestal
plateau
to show, because I got so much better seeing like that was when like we went from this guy down here to this guy up here.
So so the moment that you've picked as a character changing story, I'm too far away from the mic. So the moment that you've picked as a character changing story has been one that is related to an advancement in your career.
Yes.
Would you say that your passion is purely career-based, or it is an extension of your personality and soul?
I mean, that is a great question.
Is it just business, or is it an extension of yourself, a facet of Chris?
Yeah, no, I feel like it is an extension. Yeah, absolutely. Because everything that I'm talking about is straight up it's just a perception of my reality. Really.
And you posted on your Instagram story, I think it was yesterday, that something about negativity, and someone was saying, so if it is a perception of your reality, is your perception of reality quite negative at the moment? Is that why it's being reflected in your work?
Yeah, I think it's been negative for years, man.
Oh, that's not good.
Like, yeah, that's the thing.
Oh shit.
You just I actually but it's usually just I just talk about whatever's going on at the time. But the thing is, by the time the stuff actually comes out, because of how long it takes to get it all done and all produced and whatnot, by the time people actually hear it, I've been and got over it now.
Oh right, yeah.
Like it's kind of like I don't feel this way anymore, but I did.
Yeah.
Like, so let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So by the time my last EP came out, that was stuff that was over a year old. Or like, where the feelings were like over a year old, or whatever. It was like, yeah, I've been got over this, but at the time, this is how it was, and like like, so for the last record on my last EP, like I remember like just listening to the beat and like coming up with like small ideas and that, and almost like breaking down, and actually just like this is ridiculous. Why do I feel like this? Like,
why was it ridiculous?
I don't know, man.
Why are feelings ridiculous, Chris?
It was more like, how have I got here to that point that I'm saying these things? It's like, how has it got here, kind of thing. And it was just that was quite upsetting at the time. It was just like it's come to this, like, just where I mean, like we said of going way back, when I said to a mate of mine, I was like, oh, I just don't want to hurt anymore, mate.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, how the fuck have I got to a point where that's what I'm saying to people? Like, what the hell, man?
And how did you get there?
I mean, just a lot of bullshit happened.
Would you say that you love yourself?
I'd say
at least twice a day. I thought of that line on my walk. Yeah.
I'd say that definitely a lot more than what I did. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I have a much better relationship with me.
And how do you? Because in my journal today, I wrote, "Am I?" Because I feel like I'm burnt out. I wrote, "Am I loving myself?"
Yes.
So
how did you answer that? Did you answer that question?
I haven't answered it yet.
Okay.
I'm working on it. So that was very stern, wasn't it? That was my Capricorn coming out. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Because I think that all of my energies are on output right now. But I don't know what input. I think input really looks like meditation. When I wrote my plan for August, I wrote that I was going to meditate every day for 15 minutes, and I haven't been sticking to it. And then when I set a goal like that and I don't fulfill it, I get annoyed at myself, which then means that I don't want to do the thing.
Okay.
So self-development is like really tricky, because you set yourself a goal, and then if you don't meet it, you put pressure on yourself, and then it doesn't encourage you to do it. So you watch the Umbrella Academy, from episode 1 to 10 in 2 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what. So yeah, all of your stories kind of feed into each other in terms of the importance of a breakdown, the how to love oneself, etc. It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, by all means, share with the people, finally. Tom. Share with us.
I would love to be a cult leader. I'd love to.
Oh, I mean...
yes, I'm a cult leader. Anyway, what were we talking about? My story.
Yes, give us a significant moment of growth.
I don't know if I've told you the story or not, but for the listeners. So when I started university, I was very, as we might say in the Encore thing, very unconscious.
Yes.
Like, very unaware of the words I said, the things I felt, and my experience with other people.
Okay, that seems like a really interesting concept. Just the idea of being unconscious of what you're doing.
Yeah.
So when you say that, do you mean as in there was absolutely zero filter in there? It was just think something, blah, say it.
Yeah, it was very impulsive. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd argue that some people might say you still don't have a filter, Tom.
No, but I'm a bit more like, okay, fine, whatever. No, but the way I was like kind of very aggressive, very just.
Was that intentional?
I don't know. I think I was a product.
I
think as I was saying, I think it's from repressed, like from being at school and just being made a fool of all the time. Like one time I can remember we were separated. This was in my acting training. I can remember we were separated into groups, and this group of girls kept looking over, who are now my friends, kept looking over, and I'd see them smile, and in my head I was like, they're talking about me. They're slagging me off. They're bitching about me. And I stood up and I went over there, and I just went, if you've got something to say, can you say it to my face? And they were like, Tom, what are you talking about? And I was like, I've just seen you laughing at me. And like, we're not even talking about you. And I was like, and that's when I started to realise that I had a bit of a paranoia like thing, like thinking that people were always talking about me and ridiculing me, which I think comes from school. Yeah. And just being constantly subjected to ridicule and being nowadays, if someone says an insult to me, I'm like, psh, is that it? But then I was like very highly sensitive to.
I know it's a completely different extreme, and but I was watching a video earlier where I think it was called like The Gap. It's like a little show that Lad Bible does, and so they got two soldiers, one who was a World War II veteran and one who's been to like Afghanistan and stuff. Yeah, and they just talked about like war and stuff and how they feel about it now, etc., etc. And the young guy that'd been to Afghan, he said that he's been out of war now for about 12 years. But he's still in fight mode. Yeah. And like even in the comments they were like, you can from like his body language, like he was sort of very uptight, straight back. He was sort of tapping away at his leg here. It's almost like he's waiting for the next ambush still. It's like he's been gone for 12 years and he's still like everyone's like he said, somebody looks at him just like in any way possible. Yeah. He sort of looks at him and is like, what's his problem? What does he want? And sees them as a hostile enemy. Yeah. I know it's two very different extremes, but you are effectively in the same state of mind.
Exactly. The always on the attack and always very defensive I was. Yeah. And I try not to be anymore. I try to let it wash all over me, but sometimes, Alan on Discord argues that I never mean it to the same degree. But anyway, this is what I was like in first year. And then when I finally started getting some friends who wanted to like break through and understand me, I started to let my guard down. I started to feel more accepted and stuff.
Do you feel like you didn't have that to begin with?
There's a whole book for... The uni was a very transformative time for me. Mm-hmm. But I feel like in our circle we didn't talk about our feelings. We didn't talk about those things. Am I wrong? It was what game you're playing, what Yu-Gi-Oh card did you just get? Do you know what I mean? And I think the problem.
But I think that was just the time we were in as well.
Totally. And I know I'm not criticizing that. I'm saying that because uni was you were suddenly confronted with having to, especially in acting as well. Suddenly everything's multiplied. Because you're having to have a relationship with yourself. So I was just starting to have a relationship with myself, and I had this. I was very cerebral, very analytical, very cold. And I had this screen acting teacher called Chris Simpson, and he's very spiritual. He's very like hippie. I call it hippy dippy. I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean like very in tune with himself and the spirit and the energy and stuff like that and the vibration, etc. And he was our screen acting teacher.
Just go with the flow, man.
Go in the flow, like all of that business. And I've actually adopted a lot of his attitude because I think it's healthy. There were other parts of him that weren't healthy. Okay. But the healthy stuff I took.
The crack stuff didn't help.
No, crack never helps.
He wasn't on crack, but to my knowledge, he wasn't.
Don't know.
To our knowledge, he was not on crack.
And one lesson, we finished the lesson early, and he said, right, well, we've got some time left over, so I'm going to critique all of you on your personalities. Oh! So not on your acting ability or the studies. I'm going to critique your personality.
Wow.
This is one of those...
What an interesting gentleman.
Oh, Chris, if you'd met him, you would have just been like... The look in his eye was just like he would consume you. He was so crazy, and he would go. And so he went around the room. He started going around the room, and he'd be like, "You're insecure. You have problems with your repressed childhood. You have problems relating to your mother." And he would just like do that, like therapy.
Oh my god!
But in like 10-second chunks.
Like speed therapy.
Speed therapy, where there is no therapy. I imagine it's all about.
Everyone just leaves crying.
Yeah, it's all about conclusion, proper therapy, and like wrapping a bow on it and moving on. Whereas he would just like break people down and then just leave them in their state of
oh my god,
dismantlement. And he lands on me and he goes, "Tom, oh Tom, have I told you this story?"
No.
Great, I must have. This is like iconic Tom Baker. He lands on me and he goes, "Tom, oh Tom, what you need to do is you need to listen to this." And he starts gesturing over his heart. Right. And I just look at him dead in the eye because I'm like, I'm not having this hippy dippy bullshit in my reality. No, thank you. Life is cold, hard facts. Right. And I went to him. The heart is an organ for pumping blood around the body. Just a very scientific, analytical line. Because I was being sarcastic and pedantic to cut through the life-changing lesson he was offering me.
Do you not?
It was defensive.
Do you not feel like that was only proving his point?
Let me go on.
Okay.
So he hears the line and he smiles. He is ecstatic at my response because I've fallen into his trap.
Yeah.
I'd love to know his star sign. I tried to look him up on Wikipedia, but I don't know his. But anyway, he looks at me and he goes, Tom. Oh, Tom. Sometimes I speak to you and I think, fair enough. And other times I think, shut up. Shut the fuck up. And he's just shouting that at me in my face. Yeah. He goes, who the fuck do you think you are? You're not fooling anyone. What the fuck are you trying to prove? And he just went mental at me for saying this thing. And everyone was just like covering their faces. And he was just screaming, going, shut the fuck up. How fucking dare you come in this class and you give me that and you act defensive in here. Who the fuck do you... And he went absolutely mental at me for giving this sarky comment.
Right.
And since that day, I've learned to listen to my heart. But what he was trying to say was, you don't need to be on your guard. And he was just like, I'm trying to have a connection with you. I'm trying to get through to you. Whereas I was like having none of it. I didn't want anyone. The reason why I probably didn't want anyone to get through to me was because I didn't want to get through to myself and have that connection with myself because I didn't like myself. Do you know what I mean? This is getting a bit, but that's what it was. And so he was just, he was such a weird man. He would start a lesson and 10 minutes into the lesson, I'd say something like a quip and he'd go, hang on, what's that about? And he'd spend the next 45 minutes analysing what I'd said and just put the whole lecture to a halt so that he could analyse me. And one lesson I can remember just sliding down my chair and going under the table in front of everyone, just like actually just going, oh, I don't want to be here. Because he was just like, he was mental. And I did a presentation once and I drew out like a mind map and he went, so you've drawn this mind map, what's that thing? And I went, well, you asked me to do it about this thing. I didn't have time to research all of this. And he was like, and then he just latched onto that and was like, why are you being so aggressive? Why are you being... Da, da, da. So that's probably... his name's Chris Simpson. As a man, as an icon in my life, is probably the most transformative memory I sort of have as someone who was trying to make me have a relationship with myself. Does that make sense?
That's crazy, man. I'm going to critique your personality.
We were just gobsmacked.
Yeah.
And everyone to this day is like, very intelligent man, very talented individual, but utterly, and I know I use the word psychotic a lot, that's kind of my catchphrase, but like totally, oh my God, on another level of insanity.
I don't even know.
It was his objective in every screen acting lesson to make someone cry. He would be totally, he had this aloofness to him, this kind of like absence. Right. But the minute he saw someone tick and he saw that there was something to be dug up to make them cry, that's when he'd switch on and be involved, which is kind of sadistic.
Do you think that there was some sort of like motive behind that at all? Like, was there some sort of method to the madness, or was he just? Well,
yes and no. Yes, but he kind of went about it in a way that was very self-serving. Right. It was kind of like, I understand and appreciate what he was doing because I sometimes adopt this negative habit, but of breaking someone down so that you can help them see the light and you can kind of get through to them. Right, yeah. But it's kind of an unhealthy way to do it, pushing someone to their extreme so that you can go, there you go, look, there's this, do you know what I mean? To lay it out bare. So that was his intention, but his method was just a bit kind of, it seemed a bit self-serving. Do you know what I mean? Literally, right. If he hadn't made someone cry in the session, it wasn't a successful lesson. Yeah. Very entertaining to watch, though, if it wasn't you that he was...
It wasn't you? Oh, she's going to cry, oh my God!
Yeah. It was very intense, like the amount of emotion and the intensity was like... You have to experience it to believe it, like, but it was great. But he never did it to me. I never cried in front of him.
That's crazy.
I don't think he got that, but I think that's a reflection on how I struggle with being vulnerable with people.
Right.
Here we go. It's a deep dive into Tom again.
Mate, well, let's keep it right here.
No, I was about to say, let's wrap up.
No, of course you
Which,
were.
as the therapist would say,
being defensive now, Tom, aren't you?
Shut up.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna get aggressive now, mate. Don't worry about it.
Cracking my knuckles. Okay, here we go. We're ending it now. No, seriously, because
we're keeping this bit.
That's not what this
Let
is
it
for.
be known, ladies and gentlemen. Let it be known. Let it be known.
Okay, fine. Therapize Tom. That's another challenge we're doing.
I'm just saying, let it be known that if this part is missing out of the podcast, he's censored me. He has censored me. I want it to be known.
I don't know. Oh, we're still recording. Right, let's say goodbye.
Nice. Well, Tom, this has been episode 8.
It has.
What are your thoughts and views? What do you think people have learned today, or what do you think they're going to take from this?
I don't know. Our objective of this was to just have less of a structure and be less rigid. So I think it's more like a conversation with Chris and Tom. It's like a fly on the wall kind of thing. Maybe we've said something useful. Maybe we haven't.
You're welcome,
That's not
guys.
what I'm here for.
No.
I think the bit about travelling is important and breaking the routine.
Yeah.
That's quite cool. And the rest of it is just utter tripe.
It's just, I mean, well, those are the best episodes, though, man. I feel like it just, it's so good.
Okay.
Like when we done last week's and it was like, it sounded like an absolute shambles.
I'm going to call this episode The Car Crash.
Like, it was amazing. It was, this is brilliant.
Well, I'm glad that was your experience.
Like,
it wasn't mine.
It wasn't mine. Tom, where can people find you? Let's go.
They can find me at number 20. No, not my address. They can find me at _Thomas J. Baker on Instagram. And I have a website, thomasbakeractor.com, where you can look at pictures of my face. Fuck off, cat. You can look at pictures of my face and sign up for acting lessons, Chris. We've got another student this week.
Oh, yeah. Don't flex your stuff, bro.
I'm going to have a cult of talented actors. So if you want to join me, thomasbakeractor.com.
They might not be fighters, but they can certainly behave like them.
Exactly. Chris, and you?
Yeah, as always, you can find me on the Insta at Real Chaynes. You know the spelling by now. If you don't, you should go back and listen to previous episodes. If you haven't listened to previous episodes, well, why the fuck not? We've been doing this for the last 8 weeks.
Get with it.
Come on, give us some credit, man. We have an email address, blagginitpodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to send us your views and opinions on things we've talked about, things we are yet to talk about. Maybe even cuss one of us out just because you feel like it.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, it would be.
I'd love an episode of just reading people. I'd love like a roast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are here now, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, yeah, we should totally organise.
You know where they just post a picture of your
us.
face and say, roast this guy?
Yes.
I don't think we have the following for that,
but we can literally just go on the subreddit, Roast Me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a whole subreddit for
next.
it.
Oh, no, because Luke's next. Okay,
we'll just take
Can you write
pictures
that
of
down
us.
as a tattoo?
Yeah. No problem, mate, no
thank
problem.
you. Well, great, Chris. While you write that, I'm going to log off and go and feed my cat.
Okay.
Tom Baker has left the chat.
Boop. So, as always, guys, I greatly appreciate it. I'm just writing this down. Subreddit roasting. Okay, we greatly appreciate it, guys. 8 weeks, still plenty more to come. Take care of yourselves, love yourselves, don't be a dick. Stand on the right-hand side when you go down the escalators in the underground.
We need that on the top. Sorry, I've logged off.
I'm out. Chris is leaving the chat. Bloop.
You've been listening to Blaggin It. And now, your usual program.